Hello, Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if this is your first time visiting me. Today we're going to do a fun video response or VR to Kyra Getchell, all about decks I wish I could live in, or decks whose worlds I wish I could live in. I'll have the correct hashtag on the screen, and I will also put it in the description box down below and in the title of the video, so you'll know exactly what tag this is. But there have been a few VRs made on this one, and I've really enjoyed watching those, and I really enjoyed Kyra's original video, so I am just going to jump in and talk about mine. I feel like there's not going to be a ton of surprises here, but there may be a couple. So yeah, let's get the first one out of the way, because y'all know what it is. The Monstera. I mean, hello, of course. I love this deck. I love this world. This is the second edition copy that I have, and I have it fully trimmed to be borderless. But I really love these characters and this world. It feels just so welcoming and otherworldly. I really enjoy decks that take me places, and the Monstera was one of the first ones in my collection that really did that for me, that really took me to a place that I feel like I would want to visit or live in. I feel like I would be right at home with these creatures. I feel like they'd be really welcoming. I definitely feel like I'd be the odd one out because, you know, no fur, I have a nose, you know, those kinds of things. They're so cute. I obviously love this world, and so I had to mention this one. And of course, the companion deck that I have that goes, well, I think that goes with it, the Little Bug Oracle, also by Joanna Nelson. So I modified mine on this one as well slightly. So my copy of the Little Bug, there's keywords that I've kind of hidden in the artwork, or tucked into the artwork. It's not really hidden. And I love this. This is like if you were to zoom in on these little creatures right here. Those are the little bugs. But I love the little ladybugs, obviously, and I love these little creatures. I think this is a really fun deck. And again, this universe, this Monstera world or universe is definitely a place I would want to live. The next one I just have to talk about is the Everyday Witch Tarot. This is such a fun world. I mean, this deck is such a home comfortable deck for me in general, but I really, really love this world. I feel like it's got a touch of the modern, a touch of the medieval, and I know that bugs people sometimes, but it has that bit of touch of timelessness where I feel like we exist in a place where there are pointy witch hats and striped stockings, but there are also kings and queens and castles and cottages, but also yoga classes. And I just feel like we would have all the conveniences of modern life if we were in this world, with the nostalgia, or not nostalgia, I guess, the aestheticness of being in more of a medieval environment. This kind of feels like modern people living in an old world, or even a little bit like a cosplay kind of deck, where I feel like these are just people who are not afraid to dress the way they want and exhibit their personality or show their personality through their clothing the way that they want. But like, it's clearly modern also, you know, and I love that about it. I love that mix. I feel like these are people that would be themselves. I wouldn't feel like I was having to conform in any particular way. Like, I definitely feel like everybody kind of walks to the beat of their own drummer, or marches to the beat of their own drummer in this deck. So I really like this. I feel like this would be a really cozy place to be and to hang out, but would also be a little bit removed from, say, modern technology while still being modern, if that makes sense. And I really like that about this particular world. This next pick also, it's a double, because it's all part of the same world. But it is the Oak, Ash, and Thorn and the Smoke, Ash, and Ember Tarot. I mean, come on. This is such a beautiful, beautiful aesthetic, natural world. We have our world with, I mean, these clearly overlap as well. Like, you can tell these are part of the same, like, universe. Hello, can I get them in the middle? Let's do that, and then we'll zoom in a bit. I want to have room. There we go. So I really love this. I like the soft tones. I like the natural world. This is definitely a place where you'd be living in like a tree house or a yurt somewhere in the woods, and interacting with all of these delightful magical creatures and woodland creatures. I feel like everybody coexists here pretty well, and the environment is cohesive. Like, I feel like these are all connected to the same land. I just really love this. I feel like I like the foresty, magical forest kind of vibe to these worlds, or this world. I just find so much softness and calm in both of these places. In these, again, I'm saying both of these places because they do have a slightly different vibe, but I can tell they're part of the same universe, you know, world. I adore these decks. I adore their vibe. And I would absolutely be super thrilled to live here. Love, love, love. Yes, absolutely. I mean, come on now. You'll have to forgive me. I feel like, oops, I feel like this video is going really quickly, but I also haven't sat and filmed for a while. So I feel like, I don't know. I went to the Tarot Symposium. I came back. I wanted to do this VR, but I feel like my words aren't fully back, you know, in their places. I don't know how to describe that, but I definitely feel like I'm not quite back in the swing of things fully yet. I have 2 more to show you. So I guess this is going to be a relatively short video, especially for me. But come on now. Okay, The Tarot of Curious Creatures by Chris Ann Donnelly. I would love to live here. I again, like with the Monstera, I definitely feel like I'd be a little bit out of place myself because I obviously don't have an animal head. Or, you know, I'm not this anthropomorphic animal. But, geez, I really love these characters. I feel like they have so much. Let me put it down. Put it down, Lisa. I feel like they have so much personality and so much energy. Interacting with these characters in the cards, to me, it almost feels like I can read auras. Like, I just feel like there's so much energy and personality. I don't know how else to put it. Like, I know who that is. Like, I know exactly how she'd talk. I know what she'd have to say to me. I know who he is, you know? And I feel like these are characters I get. And I think it's that combination of, like, human and animal and the scenery and the clothing and the sass and the... I don't know. I just think there's something so special about this world and these characters. I literally can't look at it without giggling because it's like I feel like we've all known these characters in our lives in some way or another, but they're kind of exaggerated in this deck. They're more somehow, which makes them really fit into or slide into the archetypes of the tarot so well. But like, I feel like I've known so many of these people or met so many of these people through living and working and communities that I've been a part of. And but again, they're so exaggerated. It just makes them such easy reads. Like, I feel like I can totally read every single card's personality and energy so well. I just can't with this. I love it. So yes, I would totally live here. I can't. Every time I pull it out, I want to keep looking at it. This is a really special deck, and I love the vibe. And it's, you'll notice probably, hopefully, one thing out of all the decks I picked for this VR is that they're all decks that are very, very different in their vibe, but yet hold something that makes them feel like a bit of a safe space or feel accepting in some way, and definitely that is there. So I don't have a physical deck to show, but of course, the deck that I would most want to live in is mine. I would love to exist. This is just my phone wallpaper because I don't have anything physical to show right now. But I mean, Mystic, this is a world that came from me. This is a world that came from my imagination. So like, yeah, of course, I really want to be here. This is our priestess. Come on now. Look at Mystic and the moon and the sea. There's something about the artistic quality that Francesca brings too that just brings that magic and brings that light and that sacredness. And I think that's the thing that catches my attention about Francesca's artwork in general. But of course, I would want to live in the Unicorn's Journey Tarot. Like, in fact, I told Kara I wanted to do a VR to this tag, but I had to wait until I at least had something to show, or at least had already announced my deck so I could speak about it. But obviously the deck that comes out of my mind, the tarot that's coming out of my brain, that's the one I really want to that's the one I really want to live in. Like, nothing else can even hold a candle to that, because it's like, I feel like I'm envisioning this perfect magical world full of lessons and home and connections and family and community and all these things, but in the way that I can envision them in a magical way. And so, of course, that's where I'd want to live. And I feel like, actually, in a way, this tag was hard because there are so many decks I have that I feel like I'd want to live in. But these are the ones that I could like really super picture myself walking through and being present in. I've got Oracle decks I'm sure that I'd want to live in. Again, so many more. But I really wanted to hone in on those ones that like feel like they stand out in some way. And that is those are the ones that I shared with you today. I would love to hear from you what decks you'd like to live in. If you do or have done a VR to Kyra, definitely let me know, and be sure and tag Kyra so that she sees it and can, you know, watch your video as well. But this has been really fun. I'm really enjoying watching other people's perspectives, but I always like hearing the decks that we can envision ourselves in. And in my opinion, the kind of qualifier for this is that these are decks also that I feel like I could path work in, which is sort of where you visualize or guided, kind of take yourself through a guided meditation or a self-led meditation into the space or into the environment of the cards. So these are also ones that in the past I may have spoken about being decks that I could see myself path working with, because to me those are the same kind of thing. Like if I can envision myself astral traveling into them or path working into them or meditating on their spaces, then those are the right ones for me. But I definitely steer away from some of the darker, shadowy, or kind of more weird decks in my collection in that way too, or anything that's too fluffy. In fact, I'll just show you, I almost picked the Kawaii Tarot, but I decided not to because I realized that as adorable as this deck is, I feel like this would be a really chaotic place to live. Like it's super, I'm throwing the cards. It's super cute, but I feel like this would be so busy and chaotic and like high energy all the time. Like almost like being at the circus. And I'm like, I don't think I'd want to live there. Like, I think it'd be fun to visit, like going to Disneyland or something, but it kind of feels like a nonstop party in this deck a little bit with how much is going on in the landscape and the creatures. So this is really fun. But is this a deck I want to live? No. And so in a weird way, that part made it kind of hard to pick. So anyway, that's something that didn't make the cut. I obviously wouldn't put something like, I shouldn't say obviously, but I personally wouldn't pick something like, say, the Deviant Moon here. And then some of my other favorite decks, the more modern and diverse decks, I feel like those are the world, they reflect the world I do live in. So yeah, they could fit this criteria, but I feel like I already kind of live in those worlds. So there's that too. So it's like I needed to pick something that had enough of that otherworldly feel, but that also felt really comforting and cozy and like safe to be in. So those are the ones that I picked. I feel so weird it feels weird making a short video. I'm sorry. To everybody who loves my long videos, I'm sorry. But I do have a long one coming up, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. As always, extra big thank you goes out to my Unicorn Fam channel members. You guys are literally supporting what I'm doing here, and it means so much. It's because of that kind of support that I've been able to take on the extra projects that I have. I wouldn't have been able to do it otherwise, so thank you so, so much. And to all of you, thank you so much for watching, for subscribing, for liking, for commenting, for doing all the things you do to interact with this content, because that lets YouTube know that this is a channel that people enjoy, and so it helps to boost in the algorithm, which is always appreciated and helpful. So thank you so, so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye!